Hey you guys, so this is Miss Boone giving you another astro video. And so today I'm going to be talking about Saturn returns really quickly. Yes, whenever you have Saturn in your chart and when the transiting Saturn enters the house that your natal Saturn is in, and then exactly when the transiting Saturn is literally conjunct your own natal Saturn, that is termed your Saturn return. And so this is usually had, depending on your chart, etc., usually at your late 20s, and then it can sometime extend into literally like 29, 30, depending on the chart, and retrograde planets and all those things, okay? And so I'm actually going to be highlighting some things that the common popular social media tends to not talk about, some things that even your favorite astrologers may not even discuss, so you can have a better idea of how to not only understand your Saturn return, but see it in its whole picture and entirety, instead of just being so focused on just the sign that it's in, right? So like, for example, let's say you are a Saturn in Aquarius generation. And so a lot of times you see where it's just the focus of Saturn in Aquarius, but we're going to get into the things that are not being spoke about, the gag, honey. So let's get into it. So for my people who had Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn, right? If you're looking at the screen, you see Capricorn has a circle above it. So not only did you have the lessons that denote to Capricorn energy during your Saturn return for those who had Capricorn in Saturn, you also dealt with Cancer energies as well. Because Capricorn and Cancer are opposite signs, meaning even though they're opposite, they still need each other to balance each other out because they're sister signs, meaning that whatever weaknesses Capricorn has, Cancer will help in those areas, and vice versa. Okay? So, for those that were so fixated on, my Saturn in return in Capricorn, but then you wondering why you got all this other shit going on as it pertains to all this emotional stuff, as it pertains to all the home matters, as it pertains to generational curses, as it pertains to the imbalances of your femininity and masculinity, okay? These are the opposition energies, okay, pertaining to Capricorn and Cancer, along with you feeling comfortable with who you are as it pertains to you presenting yourself on a public platform, you affirming within your goals and your missions in life, like your stance in life on who you are. All of those things are the Capricorn opposition Cancer energy, right? In addition to that, not only were those two energies the theme of your Saturn return, but also the energies of Aries and Libra. As you can see here, there are two squares above each sign, showing how, showing how they were literally a part of your Saturn return as well. Okay? Because Aries and Libra square Capricorn. Aries and Libra also squares Cancer. And so whenever you're looking at your Saturn return, what you can expect, you want to look at the opposite sign and the two signs that are squaring your Saturn, as shown here. So for example, for the Capricorn Saturn folks, not only did you experience the stuff from Cancer, but you also experienced the restructuring, the rebuilding on your ego, on your identity, on your belief systems about yourself, literally the way you view yourself, your self-perceptions about yourself, okay? Your motivation, all those Aries things, okay? Your aggression, your motivation, because it's ruled by Mars. In addition to that, but you also had to deal with compromising, connections, Getting rid of old connections that were not serving you. Getting rid of the old perceptions of yourself that was not serving you, Aries. Getting rid of people who also represented the old perceptions and beings of yourself, Libra. So those were some of the energy dynamics for the Capricorn and Saturn folks. Okay, now it depends more on a specific level depending on your actual house placements. Okay, so as you see here, you have Aries in the first, Cancer in the fourth, Libra in the second, Capricorn in the 10th. However, pertaining to your chart, the houses in which those signs occupy will be different. And so in that case, you will look at the house's things, okay? And then that will give you more of a layer of understanding of your Saturn return, of what you experience, okay? And now the exact same applies for the new generation of folks, my Saturn and Aquarius folks, who are going through their Saturn return right now, okay? And I'm going to explain here shortly. Now, for my Aries and Saturn folks, not Aries, dang, my bad, my Aquarius and Saturn folks, okay? So you're currently going through your Saturn return because if you look at the transits, Saturn is currently in Aquarius. So that means if you have Saturn in Aquarius, you're in your Saturn return, okay? Now it's going to be more impactful as soon as the transiting Saturn is conjunct your natal Saturn. So that's why it's important to know the degree, because, for example, Saturn in Aquarius right now is retrograde at the 13th degree. So if you have anything close to the 13th degree, whether it's 10 degrees, 11 degrees, 12 degrees, 13 degrees, 14 degrees, 15 degrees, 16 degrees, you are going to feel it heavier. Okay? Now, if you're looking at the chart above, not only is Saturn in Aquarius themes going to be a part of your Saturn return, but the opposition, going back to what I explained earlier. So, Aquarius opposition sister sign is Leo. So that means the weaknesses of Aquarius is strengthened by the strengths of Leo and vice versa. So Leo energy will be a part of your Saturn return. So you can expect a restructuring on your ego. Saturn in Aquarius is like, hey, are you really doing it to evolve to be a better person? Not just for yourself individually, Leo, but are you doing it to be a better person for society, to benefit the community at large? These are Aquarius and Leo things, okay? Have you been giving yourself enough shine, okay? So like Leo deals with shining and, presenting yourself, right, on a public, stage. So have you been doing that? Have you been attending to your creative endeavors? Have you put yourself out there enough? Okay, you have all these talents and all these things you want to do, all these creative endeavors. Have you actually put yourself out there? Have you been doing the work? Okay, certain particular ventures, call for you to do some work. Like you may need to continue to work on your creative endeavors. Sometimes it may not come naturally. Sometimes you actually have to put work towards those things. You may have to put work towards your hobbies if you want it to be not only acknowledged, but if you're wanting to do any type of business or accomplishing goals in which your works are being recognized, beyond just yourself, right? The community at large, Aquarius. So have you been doing that? Have you been allowing yourself to have heart-to-hearts with yourself? Have you been allowing yourself, excuse me, to be in the space to really be honest with yourself, to really have literally a heart-to-heart with yourself? Have you allowed yourself to feel your emotions at a heart level? And not only that, have you been allowing other people to see that vulnerability as well, and to have heart-to-heart conversations and realizations and sharing with you as well. Okay, so these are the themes. Okay. Excuse me. Also, too, in addition to the opposition from Aquarius and Leo, you are also going to deal with the squares. So Aquarius squares Taurus and Scorpio, and Leo also squares Taurus and Scorpio. So not only is Leo going to be a part of it, but Taurus energy and Scorpio energy is going to be a part of this. Okay. And I'm sorry I didn't explain, but opposition and a square are quote unquote what they term as being like a tension aspect. So the energies have tension between them. Okay. And so as it pertains to you Saturn and Aquarius people, you want to look to see what house you have Taurus and Scorpio in, because it's also going to be restructuring that. It's going to be restructuring your self-worth, your self-values, right? The things that you value, because that's Taurus energy, right? How do you go about building your own foundation? How do you go about manifesting your hell or heaven on earth? Because Taurus denotes to the second house, your physical existence, okay, on multiple planes, okay? Restructuring of those things, okay? And things that you need to let go of as it pertains to those, okay? Things that you've been holding on to that you need to let go of to bring anew. And the same with Scorpio. What are some restructuring that you need to do on your sexuality? How do you need to go about allowing your true sexuality to express itself? How do you need to go about doing the necessary emotional and spiritual transformation? Because, Scorpio is ruled by not only Pluto, but Mars, too traditional. So what are you needing to do to transform these things within yourself that you've held on to? What are some things that you need to move around that's going to benefit you to have more motivation to go after the things that you're trying to acquire? Okay? How do you need to go about creating the type of legacy that you want to create? Okay? And restructuring what the thoughts and ideals you had as it pertains to legacy, and now what the new energies have pushed you to grow and to become, now how that is different now, and are you doing the necessary things to set up what that looks like now? Okay? And so these are some of the energies that are gonna play a part of your Saturn return, Aquarius. And so once again, you want to look at your chart to see what house you have these signs in, because that is going to be more specific to you. Okay? And then also too, you want to see what planets you have, because that's going to add another layer of understanding. Okay? And so that concludes my video on Saturn return. Just a quick little surface level really breakdown. And I also want to let y'all know, it doesn't matter, even if you're not in your Saturn return, Saturn is always on our ass. Okay? Because even though it is not your Saturn return per se, but Saturn is always transiting a particular house, making aspects to that opposite house and squaring the square signs wherever that's at, no matter where it's at. So I just want to let you guys know that, because a lot of people can feel the effects of Saturn before their actual Saturn return, and that's why, because Saturn could be transiting a house that is before your Saturn return that is also very heavy or very impactful. Okay? And so just remember that too as well. And so if you're looking for a more in-depth reading for your own Saturn return reading, you can check me out on my site at www.llpnatural.com. llpnatural.com. I do Saturn return readings, and I go in depth because I look at the other planetary placements and everything else that's going on a psychological level, emotional level, mental level, spiritual level, if I ain't said that already, and a physical level. So please feel free to check out my website there. I am available for readings now. I'm open. Also follow me on Facebook and IG. And y'all have a good night. Peace.